In my restless dreams, I see that town, Silent Hill. You promised you'd take me there again someday, but you never did. Well, I'm alone there now, in our special place, waiting for you.
Hello and welcome. Today we will be talking about the critically acclaimed video game Silent Hill 2, and we'll focus on the use of a uniquely dynamic setting as a portrayal for the character's state of mind. Silent Hill 2 was released September 24th, 2001 for the PlayStation 2, and is the sequel to the game Silent Hill for the original PlayStation. Developed by a small team within Konami known as Team Silent, critics have called the game Dark Brilliance, a true horror classic, and one of the best survival horrors of all time. Unlike most video games, this is not a protagonist whom the player can project an idealized version of themselves upon. Rather, James is flawed, and as the game progresses, his dark past is revealed, and the player finds that the protagonist is not on a journey to redeem himself. He is past the point of redemption, and this is the story of what happens after. The game follows James Sunderland, a man who heads to Silent Hill on his own volition to search for his dead wife, Mary. The clip we just heard is supposedly a letter from her calling him to Silent Hill. The town is deserted except for 4 other people:
Mary,
Angela, Eddie, Laura, and Maria.
wife's name.
None of them act rationally. They all seem
ridiculous.
mentally unhinged and behave as if they are in their own
Impossible to be
personalized
true.
hell. There's a universal theme among
That's what I
all
keep
of them
telling
that the
myself.
town itself called them there, as if the town itself is sentient.
Write a letter.
As you go through the game, you will find that it actually is.
Mary died of that
The town of
damn
Silent Hill
disease 3
tortures
years
its
ago.
occupants. It acts almost as a purgatory. Reality itself is created
why
for
am I
each
looking
individual, specifically to force these people to face their guilt. What makes the game so haunting and powerful is its use of setting. In this video, we will analyze the visual setting as the player experiences it, how it connects to the characters, and finally, what it means for the characters and protagonist, James Sunderland. On the surface, the setting is the town of Silent Hill, and it is dark and constantly covered in fog. This can make it hard to see in the game and disorienting at times. The scenes seem to shift perspective into some sort of other world. Additionally, monsters seem to be lurking around the town, all strangely feminine, writhing. They seem disinterested in James unless he provokes them, to which they then spit venom at him. The first monster James encounters, the lying figure, actually resembles Mary on her deathbed. There is nothing stopping James from leaving this town, going back to his car, and getting the hell out of Dodge. Yet he continues on. To quote James, "I'm going to find Mary. It's the only thing I have left to hope for." As you go through the game, it is revealed that Mary had not actually died 2 years ago from any illness. James just killed her and drove to Silent Hill with her in the passenger seat. The game begins after he gets there. He has forgotten that he murdered Mary. The game progresses linearly even though it is an open world and drives James forward. It changes based on what he feels he deserves and moves towards his acceptance of his role in his wife's murder. As the player progresses through the game, however, it is revealed that the characters have different experiences than James. Eddie Dombrowski developed Body Dysmorphic Disorder. Body dysmorphic disorder is a disorder characterized by the obsessive idea that some aspect of one's own appearance is severely flawed. Eddie had been overweight and had been ridiculed his whole life. One day he snapped and shot one of the bullies in the kneecap with his father's gun and killed the bully's dog. He then ran to Silent Hill to escape the cops. Rather than provide asylum, Silent Hill became his own personal prison, and it revealed that he does not see the monsters James sees. Rather, he constantly hears laughter, ridicule, and bullying coming out of the fog. Additionally, he seems to be able to always indulge in pizza, even though the other characters cannot. Although this seems like a good thing, Eddie is haunted by his gluttonous eating habits.
All curled up in a ball. Then he came after me. I shot him too, right in the leg. He cried more than the dog.
Moving on to Angela Orozco. Angela's demons, on the other hand, unlike Eddie, were her father. Her brother and others that sexually raped her and harassed her. Angela's father, Thomas, was an alcoholic and would rape and abuse Angela and her mother. Her brother was no better. As she got older, this only got worse. In high school, she worked as a waitress and would get harassed by the male customers. She became depressed and attempted suicide multiple times, and eventually ran away from home. When she was found by her father and brought back home, she killed him and her brother and fled to Silent Hill in search of her mother. Here she sees the town constantly in flames and a monster representing her father. The monster appears to be a male figure, Thomas Orozco, her father, lying on a mattress with a suffering little girl underneath. This monster, known as the Abstract Daddy, haunts Angela's Silent Hill. She feels like she deserved the abuse she received and is constantly in fear and acts as she did as a little girl at the sight of this monster. Laura is an 8-year-old orphan and used to know Mary when she was in the hospital sick. The two grew close, and Mary actually told Laura that she would love to adopt her if she were to get healthy. She died before that could happen, however, and because Laura knew Silent Hill was Mary's favorite place, she fled to Silent Hill to look for her because she didn't know that she had died. Unlike the other characters, Laura is actually pretty much the embodiment of truth as far as the game is concerned. She doesn't see any monsters, as she doesn't feel guilty of anything. So what she actually sees is the reality. So then what does this mean for the characters? If the setting is fluid and dynamic, then where exactly is Silent Hill? Are the characters even really alive? In the guidebook, there is a description. In Silent Hill, the border between reality and unreality is indistinct. It may be that the town itself has moved somewhere that is like another dimension, or it may be that this is all happening inside someone's dream. Could it be that the real world awaits beyond the collapsed road? There is so much left to be said in the details of the game. Some have even interpreted the characters as being embodiments of James Sunderland's guilt. The producers from Konami Computer Entertainment did a great job developing a world with such care for details. They developed flawed characters and forced them to face their sins in the physical embodiments in this town as their own purgatory. Despite the fact that what they did and how they act isn't relatable, they themselves are. The feelings of depression, the self-hatred, the dread of being absolutely alone are feelings we have all experienced. The game truly strikes a chord as it creates a commentary of the human condition, leaving you with something to think about and a game to play or replay. Good night.